everyone. Welcome to Title the Podcast
With Joe.
and Joe.
Hello, hello. We're back. Episode 4.
So, what are we going to talk about today?
Oh nga, ano ba?
Okay, today's topic is all about second chances.
Ay.
Yes, second chances.
Ano gusto natin pag-usapan sa second chances?
Well, second chances, it's quite, ano ba, broad. No? There's second chances given to yourself. There's second chances given to another person. Or, a certain situation that you wanted to, try again.
So, do you believe in giving second chances, Joe?
Only to the right people. May ganun.
Ano ang right people?
Okay. Well, first of all,
Second of all nga, second chances. Ano ba?
no, first of all, to give a second chance to somebody, it depends on your relationship with the person first and foremost. Okay? So, is this person special to you? Or is this person dear to you? Or did this person hurt you the most? In a romantic relationship, this is just for me. If somebody cheat on you, there's no second chances for you.
Hard line. Pag cheating.
Yes.
Big no.
Big no. Because there's a huge possibility that that person will do it again. Like, I'm sorry. If you can't do it right the first time, why do you think you need a second chance? I'm not gonna give you another chance for you to cheat on me again. That's the second chance.
Shame on you if you fooled me once. Shame on me if you fooled me twice.
Exactly.
Ano kanta ulit yun?
I don't know.
Basta yun. Ang hirap kasi take ang conversation ng second chances. Because
Yes.
I think it's a very nuanced conversation. And I think it's a very nuanced topic where I agree. It's dependent on the person.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's also dependent on the situation, not just the person.
Yeah.
Like you gave a good example with romantic relationship and cheating. And honestly, I agree. When it's cheating, it's a very different ball game. But I'm also reminded of some of the mistakes I've done in the past where people have decided that they don't want to give me a second chance with that specific thing. So with just that specific thing, like, for a fact that I am chronically late. I am chronically temporally challenged. So I think there was this one friend at one point and it felt very harsh at that time, but I kind of understand it now. Na parang sabi niya, no, Ivan, I'm not gonna ask you to be the one to, I think parang carpool. I'm not gonna ask you to be the one to pick us up. Kasi parang sabi niya, you had your chance before and you were late. So it's like, we're not gonna do that. But that friend and I are still good friends. And so in terms of that, like, I think that's a very unique situation where she was like, basically what she was telling me and what she was conveying was, I'm not going to give you a second chance to make us late to things again.
Yes.
But ever since then, we'd either meet at the place or siya magdadrive. So yung ganun. So but it's not the end of the friendship.
Yeah.
And it's not like she doesn't trust me with anything else.
Yeah.
She just doesn't trust me to get us to places on time. And so I think,
That's a valid reason.
diba? Totoo,
Yeah.
valid siya. And I think yun yung, that's why it's difficult for me also to discuss something like second chances. Because I'm like, where do we go? Like, where do we start? What do we want to talk about? Second chances at work? Second chances when somebody makes a mistake? What kind of mistake? like second chances
So,
for.
di ba, people say everybody deserves a second chance.
Mm.
I agree to a certain point, but it really depends on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, if it's about cheating, for me, there's no second chance to that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm not sorry.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, not sorry.
Because I'm not gonna put myself at risk again for you to hurt me that way. Now, if it's a different situation, let's say work, then sure. Because we're only human, we make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Then sure, give the person another chance. But if the person keeps doing the same thing over and over and over, that's not second chance anymore, third fourth, fifth, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Then you'll see that the second chance you gave was not valued enough.
I like that. Because I think it brings up the next point when I think of second chances, where we started talked about, well, it's a different situation, different relationships, right? You started with romantic relationship and cheating, and then I went with friendships with a very specific kind of caveat of like, not second chance as a friend, but like second chance as not making us late again. Basically, she never gave me that second chance. And with work, I think you touched on something very important when you said it clearly, the chance you gave wasn't valued. And I think there is something to be said about the actions that people need to do after and basically to convince others to give them a second chance. Like, I feel like apology is one thing, and I heard somebody say apology without change is manipulation.
That's true.
It's like, yeah.
That's nice.
I think it's step one, right? Like, there are people who don't even apologize, right? Yeah. So the people who don't even apologize clearly. When am I going to give you a second chance? Those that apologize, like, you have to wait for them to actually show that they're doing some change, like some repentance, right? Like, there's remorse and there's guilt in what they've done, and they understand what they did wrong. Yeah. So some people are like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I know you're mad. I'm sorry." And then you're like, "What are you sorry about?" Well, clearly I made you mad. And well, what did you do?
Without realizing the mistake that they made.
Exactly.
Or not admitting to it.
And so, you're gonna. It's important for them to be able to acknowledge that they've done something wrong, and then to be able to show that they're changing. But I think the difficult bit about all of these is that sometimes you don't get the chance to give the second chance.
You don't get the chance to give the second chance.
Yeah. Because the timing doesn't always work out. Or sometimes it feels like you need to make the decision quickly. You're like, okay, but I wanted to wait for them to show this or to show that.
Nah. Waiting for a second chance or waiting to give a second chance. I don't know, like, if somebody doesn't change after giving a second chance, like, why would you even wait for it? They should have done it right then and there. If they're really sincere in showing their worth to get that second chance that you're giving. But they would change right then and there.
But I think, like, I'm thinking yung the employee. Diba? Now, when an employee makes a mistake, you have a choice of, like, firing them right then and there or giving them a second chance.
That's different naman. Because if the work calls for, if you can support this person, if you can see the potential for this person to grow, why wouldn't you?
So it also...
the second chance is like risking it again.
So I think where you're going with this is not only do people have to show na they're valuing the second chance, but I think even with this situation, it's showing na it's also very important for people to set good foundation for the relationship. Whether
Yes.
it's employer-employee or, friendship or romantic relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi tama ka, if you're thinking about an employee, there are employees talaga na from the get-go, you're like, ba't namin siya hinire?
True.
Diba?
I
And
know
then,
some.
walang ganyan. Baka ma-censor tayo. There are some
No
people na,
names.
no names. There are some people na, you're like, bakit ka hinire? And then, mistake after mistake after mistake, and you're like, you know what, this doesn't deserve a chance,
Mm-hmm.
But then there are employees that, they come in, and you can tell they're doing their best. You can tell they're really earnest. You can tell they really care about the position. And then you can tell talaga na yung mistake was a mistake. Whether, circumstances, it was different from what they were trained
I don't mind giving second chances to people who are willing to learn from their mistakes
Mm-hmm.
and who are showing their effort to actually improve themselves.
Yes. And I think that comes after, though. So what I'm trying to say is there are people that, and not people that, but in relationships, you want to be able to build that foundation from the very beginning
Mm-hmm.
to show that you're actually committed, to show that you're
Yes.
actually somebody that's
Yes.
willing to learn. Because I remember there's this one time, I came into work very, very, very late, like absolutely very late. And my boss at that time, so I came in and I was like, I am so sorry. And she goes, don't worry about it. It's like, it's the first time that you've done it. It's not something that you do a lot of time. Clearly, she doesn't know me very well. It's not something that you do a lot of time. I mean, I'm late to things when it's, when we're going out. Sometimes I suffer from Filipino time. But with work, I show up like I have to. But this one, I clearly wasn't able to show up. Something happened. And so my boss, when we spoke, she relied on the fact that she's known me before that.
Mm-hmm.
So she knows that I won't lie to her.
Mm-hmm.
She knows that I wasn't like, oh, I just didn't feel like coming to work. So I'm just
Yeah.
going to come in late and then say, oh, no, something happened. So we built that trust. And I think that's what I was trying to say. If you build the trust with somebody, then it's easier for me to be able to give them a second chance. Because then I'm like, well, they deserve it. Because clearly, this is not intentional on their part.
Yeah.
A mistake was a mistake. Kaya I think I agree with you when it comes to cheating. Now, cheating is a lot more difficult. Because I'm like, the betrayal that comes with cheating. And we're talking about, not cheating on a test. We're talking cheating in a romantic relationship.
Yeah.
The betrayal that comes with cheating in a romantic relationship is very different, at least to me, because it feels like it undermines everything. Like in
Yes.
my example at
That's
work,
true. Mm-hmm.
I do my job well. I have a great relationship with my boss and with my other coworkers. They see how I treat our clients. They see how I work with people. So they know overall they have a good impression of me.
Yeah.
And being late has nothing to do with all the other things that I've shown.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I'm late doesn't mean all of a sudden I'm rude. Or just because I'm late, all of a sudden I'm incompetent in completing my
Yeah.
job. Like being late is one thing. Obviously, it's related to, can we trust you as an employee? Are you
Yeah.
able to deliver? But it's a different aspect. Whereas with cheating, it feels like it undermines everything about the relationship.
Yeah.
Which is why I am inclined to agree with you na amidst all the different situations we're going to be talking about or we've been talking about, pag cheating, iba talaga.
Of course, kasi nawawala yung trust.
And not just trust, it's trust in everything else. Because it's
Mhm.
like, it's not just about trust that you value me.
Mhm.
It's suddenly like, oh, am I not enough?
Like everything that I know, biglang
you start to question.
Yeah.
Biglang mawawala. You start to
you
question.
doubt everything.
Exactly.
So this just came to my head just now.
Bote na lang sa head.
No, like if you deserve a second chance, or if you're worth the second chance, you wouldn't even need it.
I want.
Agree?
I mean, not fully.
Why?
Because I think we're human.
Yes, but I mean, if you, sanabi mo nga, at the beginning, if you're already proving your worth, why would you need a second chance?
Kasi magkakamali ka pa din.
True, but like, it's not gonna be so hard for people to give you a second chance. In a sense.
So you still need it.
But something along that line.
I think I get it. Yung yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, nagkaintindihan na po kami. Pasensya na sa mga hindi nakaintindi. No, I think it's
or like you wouldn't even use the second chance kind of thing.
Or I think you wouldn't hesitate. Like I think for somebody you wouldn't hesitate giving it. And I think for somebody who deserves it, you wouldn't question whether ano ba? Gets ko yung sinasabi pero hindi ko din ma-express in another way. Parang
just try to understand what I'm trying to say.
I think if we're talking about a second chance for building a relationship, because I think this is why all of our different things are kind of all over the place, right? We're talking about employment, we're talking about friendships, we're talking about romantic relationships. And I think within the context of yung quote mo, which is, if you deserve a second chance, you wouldn't need it. You're somebody that wouldn't need it. We're talking about ending something and then needing a second chance to prove yourself to come back to it. Diba? And I think that's right. Like as an employee, for example, if you're somebody that deserves that second chance, you probably won't need it because chances are you're not going to get fired.
Yeah.
In the first place to then require you to ask for a second chance. There are chances here and there for, some things that you make a mistake on, but in terms of the grand scheme of things, I think the quote you're talking about focuses on a second chance of starting over. Kasi we're talking about, I think personally for me, I think nagkamali ako ng isip na, hindi man nagkamali, pero nagkahalo-halo na siya sa utak ko of second chances in terms of mistakes and then being forgiven certain mistakes, being allowed to try again.
Yeah.
You messed up the recipe, try again. As opposed to, oh my gosh, you messed up the friendship. Do we end it or do you get a second chance? And I think that's what we're talking about. And I think that's what it is
no
with the
second
quote.
chance for me.
Uwi na ako? Yun. Ay, tagal ko nakuha.
Needs more understanding.
Ganun talaga pag pagod ka na.
So there's a quote.
Oh.
Ito, let's read this. Sabi sa quote, second chances are not given to make things right, but are given to prove that we could be better even after we fall. That's true. That's very true in the sense na it does not make things right, but use that to prove that you could be a better person. That you can learn.
Kaya nga
That you can change.
Yes, kaya nga siya tinawag na chance, di ba? It's an opportunity to be able to do something better. It's an opportunity to try again. And I think the reality with second chances is that second chances do not change the past.
Yeah.
That's not something we can do as human beings. We cannot erase what we've done. We cannot take back what we've said. We cannot undo a lot of things that we've done. And so second chances are not a way to erase that. And it's not negating the fact that you've done something wrong. It's accepting that something wrong was done. Something maybe bad happened. And now you're given a chance to do something better.
Okay, ito naman, situational.
Ay, ito na tayo. Interview pala, situational question.
No.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
When do you give a second chance to somebody that did not cheat on you, but it's just the timing wasn't right? Would you give a second chance?
Parang may hugot ito. Anong second chance kung wala namang
let's say
nangyari?
Let's say you were caught in a situation where the two of you had to break up because
It wasn't the right time.
it wasn't the right time, or something happened that, had that you needed to be away from each other, kind of thing. Well, ano LDR?
Akala ko ba sabi mo last week? Ano yun? The right thing at the wrong time is...
The wrong thing.
Oh, I did the wrong thing.
No.
So the wrong thing siya then, so you ended it.
I'm not saying me. I'm saying it's a situation.
Yung you kasi plural, di ba? The two people, they ended it.
They had to.
They had to end it.
But then...
So person A and person B parang had a thing.
Yeah.
Pero it wasn't
the
right
relationship.
Time. They had a relationship. Friendship, romantic.
Romantic relationship.
Romantic. So person A and person B were in a romantic relationship.
Yes.
Pero...
But they had to break up. Because life happened.
Okay.
Let's say it's not something...
It's not like they wronged each other.
Yeah. There's no cheating. There's no... Nothing.
Walang away na nangyari.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
naghiwalay na sila.
Yeah. So
do you think, ang question is, should person A give person B another chance?
Or would it be... Should they give it a second chance?
Hindi na tao ang second chance ngayon, the situation na.
Could be.
Should they give... So basically, should they try again is your question.
Should they try again?
Bakit? It's the right time na ba?
How would they know if it's the right time?
You know what I'm saying. Ikaw nagsabing the right thing at the wrong time is the wrong thing. So how do you know it's the right time?
It's the right time if things fall into place without pushing it.
I think it's gonna depend on ano bang nangyari the first time. Kasi when you think of the history of a relationship, that's gonna be very telling on what it could look like in the future. Like, because we're being very, very vague with person A and person B situation, if it was something as simple as person A had to move to another country for a job, so instead of doing long distance, they decided to just, end it. But now person A has moved back. They're living in the same city again. They're working, relatively similar jobs. They're both working 9 to 5. So it's not like they have different schedules. And, nothing bad happened. They kept communication during the time that person A went away.
What if they didn't?
But like in that situation...
What if they actually moved on with their lives and then they found themselves in the same place?
Well, I would assume naman talaga they would have moved on.
Mm-hmm.
But, in this situation, the only thing that caused them to end the relationship was because person A moved away and they both decided LDR was not something they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they come back, the main issue is no longer there. Long distance relationship is no longer an issue. They're back in the same city. Their schedules are more or less the same. They work a corporate job. So now they can try again. So I think in that situation, yes, trying again is fine. But if person A and person B situation is a lot more complicated, there was maybe some mental health concerns involved, maybe some family involved, maybe a little bit of both, or maybe, they found out may anak para sa ganito, or, very telenovela-esque something.
Yeah, what if both of them got married at some point and then both of them got divorced at some point, kids involved and all those things?
I think it really depends on what all those things would consist of, like if it, kasi depending on how complicated the situation was that caused them to separate in the first place, those need to be resolved before they can figure out trying again. What if, person A and person B had different religions? Tapos, yung situation pala was, one of them converted to another one.
Yeah.
So even if they meet up again 10, 20 years later, if they're both still very devoted to their religions and it's incompatible, it's not like you can actually try again.
Yeah.
Whereas if it was just long distance, different cities, they moved back, they can try again. So without further context on whatever happened to person A and person B, I don't think I can give a straightforward answer as to whether or not they can try again. I think, okay, maybe if I wanna, maybe without dodging it, to be able to answer, I think I would say there are two things there are two conditions that need to be satisfied for them to even consider trying again. Condition one, the issues that caused them to split up in the first place have already been resolved.
Okay, so they had to close that chapter.
They have to close that chapter. Whatever it was should not be a thing right now. Or the situations would have changed, right? Like maybe person A's parents had issue with person B. But, after a couple of years, person B has become a successful person and now person A's parents are fine with the person. Or like yung LDR example nga. Or maybe like I have friends ako in the Philippines na they were on again, off again for a while. Kasi the issue was finances and schooling. Mahaba yung schooling ni ate girl. Si kuya wanted to start a business. So at some point, hindi nagtugma yung situation nila. Kasi,
they're not at the same...
Oh, parang they're like, well, we can't pursue a relationship right now. Hindi tayo pwedeng pakasal din ngayon. Kasi I'm starting a business. Andito lahat
they're
yung
not stable.
pera ko. Yeah, the other one naman. I'm still pursuing a different career. I'm going to school. It's a long-term schooling. I need focus and energy and money for that. So, they're doing better now kasi stable na yung situation nila. So things like that where schooling ended, business is a bit stable, situation was resolved so they can continue forward. But if the situation involves, I don't know, maybe a third party, not necessarily na cheat, baka, may history pala si A, tas bumalik, so nagka-issue sila nun. So ngayon, if the history is completely gone, okay na. So condition one, whatever it was that caused the initial split to happen should be resolved. Condition two, both parties should be willing to try again. Kasi I think it's very easy to make a decision as one person.
Yeah.
Na my life is now in order. I've done everything I needed to do. I'm going to therapy. I have money. I have a good job. I'm settled, etc., all the check boxes, right? And be like, now I am ready to go meet person B again. But person B
is not ready.
Could be in a different space. Person B could not be thinking about relationship at all. So I think second condition has to be both parties need to be willing and ready to commit to it. And both of them need to be 100% committed to trying again.
So can we say that sometimes second chances are presented, but it doesn't necessarily happen?
I think yes, in that the opportunities could come. We've seen enough movies where oh my gosh, my childhood sweetheart moved back. Like especially during the holidays, all those Hallmark or W Channel movies or all those cheesy Christmas movies that everybody just kind of loves to sit around and watch. All these stories of like, oh my gosh, the big shot lawyer from the city moved back to the small town, or somebody that moved away has come back, or you meet again in a coffee shop or whatever. Just because the opportunity is there does not mean it's something that you should be grabbing or you should be doing.
Even though sometimes people say second chances doesn't present themselves often. It's not like it's like there all the time.
I think
they don't come around very often.
I think that's true for everything, but that doesn't mean you have to do everything.
True. That's true.
It's like you could always steal. You go into a store. Why am I talking about stealing? But like that, just because the opportunities present itself doesn't mean you're ready for it. Doesn't mean that's what you're supposed to do. You could just be messing things up more. But what I would say though is that in terms of relationships, right? You're right. And I agree with whoever said that quote or whoever said or adds that thinking that second chances don't present themselves often. So I think when they do, you should reflect on it. It should make you think. It should make you consider.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, this could be a once in a lifetime. Like, or this could be, this is something I've been thinking about for the longest time, and now I have the opportunity to do it. It should make you think. And because they don't present themselves often enough, then you should really, really consider before taking it. Because if we flip the logic on its head, second chances don't present themselves often.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to waste it. I think that quote is going along the lines of, you don't want to waste it, you should take it.
Yeah.
I would argue and say, don't waste it. So don't destroy it.
Exactly.
Especially if we're talking about relationships with human relationships, right? Like, there's only so many chances a person can give you. So if you mess up a relationship more than once, paano ka pa ulit magkakaroon ng chance to try that again?
Yeah, you know what? With me kasi, I don't go back. There's no second chances with me.
At all.
At all. At all. But in every rule, there's an exception, right?
Ayan na, sinasabi ko, biglang may but.
But, if there's any person, I think there's the one that I wanted to, but I know it will never be.
Ako yun eh. Pag nag-away tayo, ako yung bibigyan mo ng second chance.
No, I'm talking about...
Sige na nga, romantic.
Yes,
okay,
I'm talking about romantic relationship.
So may somebody na one that got away. Yun ba ang ano
I
nito?
wouldn't say one that... I'm the one that got away. Excuse me.
Bakit ka umalis? Why did you go away?
No. Meron nga ang quote na sila, di ba? No, I'm not the one that got away. I'm the one you did not fight for. May hugot.
So siya ang nagkulang.
I wouldn't say that, but...
But you said it.
But it's just the situation is not ideal. This happened many years ago.
Anong situation?
Can't say. I'm not sharing it to the world.
So guys, tapos na po yung podcast. Magkukwento na lang po kami. Papatay na namin yung mic.
No, it's just...
No. I'm not. I'm just teasing you. So with everybody, there's only this one person that you're like,
If I could, I would. If I could, I would.
Does he know that?
I don't know.
Are you still in contact?
No. I hope he does. If you're listening.
Nananawagan po kami.
If you're listening. No, but yeah.
So I guess the situations like these that make you believe yung sinabi mo nga kanina na second chances don't present themselves often. Because from my understanding, wala na kayong connection ni Kuya.
No.
But I mean, you haven't been talking.
It's like, no. But like, how can I say this? Sometimes, but it's like very, very rare occasion. And last time was like years ago.
In person ba ito? O
What do you mean?
yung last time na sabi mo nagka-connect kayo?
Email.
My God, email!
Yeah, email.
Anong panahon ito, email?
No, like...
Business contact ba ito?
No. Kasi what he's not into social media stuff. So we don't really...
So hindi kayo makapag-connect Facebook, Instagram?
No, he's not into social media stuff. So
Okay.
no accounts
Kaya email.
at all. Yeah. And then basta, we were supposed to meet actually years ago.
Tapos?
I don't know what happened.
Siya ang nagka-issue, ikaw nagka-issue, hindi kayo natuloy.
It just stopped.
So hindi pa natuloy yung magplano.
We were planning to, but
Tapos
the communication just stopped. So I was like, what happened? Diba? And then after that, like, I don't know.
So after that, no contact na?
No contact. Then...
Baka may nangyari sa kanya.
I hope not. I honestly don't know. Because that's the only way I can contact him. And then the email doesn't exist anymore, kind of. Like, I tried.
It bounces back?
It bounced back.
Baka may nangyari sa kanya.
Oh, hell, I hope not. So I don't know. I really don't know. I don't want to think that way.
What's the other option, that he ghosted you?
No, I don't know. Maybe
I
something
guess
happened.
ghosting you is better than something happening to him.
Yeah, but there's no way for me to know, right?
Andito pa po kami. Napaisip lang kami.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to just dump it all here.
No, but I think it's... Ay, ang hirap. Meron talagang second chances.
I wouldn't call that a second chance for us, but
I think it would be.
I don't know. I don't think so,
Ano ba,
but
first chance ba? Hindi siya second, siya first.
but I like. How can I explain this? This is so hard to explain.
Mayroon talaga mag-explain pag puro redacted yung information.
No, this is so hard to explain kasi hindi ko alam eh. I cannot explain. It's just it's different with this situation. I don't know what happened. I don't think it's a second chance, but I would still talk to this person if ever I get a chance to. Like nothing happened.
I guess what I want to know now is, anong meron kay kuya na wala sa mga iba mong either exes or suitors or relationships, either before or after him?
He just gets me. In all aspect of that word na, he gets me. He just gets me.
And no one's come close to that since
No. And it's how he made me feel. It's how we connect. It's just weird. I cannot explain.
then. Does he actually exist?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And no other way for you to contact him?
No.
Mutual friend?
No.
Nobody else knows him?
No. I'm so private, di ba?
How did you meet?
Somewhere. This is years and years ago. Years and years ago. But you know what?
I don't know.
I guess after him, it's so hard to explain. After him, I think I'm still trying to find that feeling to every person after.
I mean, it makes sense. Kasi if that's what a relationship felt like to you, na to an extent, it felt like this is what you really want when you find your person, or when you settle down with a person, or when you spend your whole life, the rest of your life with somebody. It makes sense that moving forward from that, you're like, I want to find somebody that either equates to that, is the same as that, or better than that, you know? And I think that's a very human response of like, because that relationship taught you what you wanted in a relationship.
Yeah. It
So then
actually showed me what I wanted.
Yeah, so then it makes sense that moving forward, you're like, I want.
And I have not seen that even close to that after.
Naging kayo ba?
Yes.
Tapos nag-break kayo?
Short period lang.
Official.
Yeah.
Tapos, who broke it off?
The situation.
Hindi naman pwedeng situation lang.
I cannot reveal everything here.
No, I know, but I'm saying, situations happen, but the decision has to be made by the couple na we're gonna end this. Mutual yung decision na you're gonna end it. Kasi the situation was
I
there.
didn't want to.
Pero siya, gusto niya. Given the situation.
It's not because he wanted it, but because
He knew he had to.
he had to.
Tapos parang you just respected it na, sige, okay, I don't want it.
And I'm
pero-
stubborn.
Tigas ang ulo mo.
I'm super stubborn.
So pinaglaban mo, parang ganon. Pinilit mo.
I kind of tried, but there's no point because he already made that decision for us.
Tapos after nun, you were able to reconnect over email.
Not in a long while.
Obviously, because after the breakup, you know, you had to move on a little bit. Because after that, you were able to reconnect.
Not fully reconnect, but you know, I had to move here, and then just a huge gap in everything.
Life just happened.
Yeah. So when I got that email from him, he was like, "Oh, I never expected that you would talk to me." Da 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 da. And I'm like, why not? Then it just felt comfortable. Like it just felt, you know, as before. in some sense.
So I would say second chance nga. Given that things ended, this is take two na. If you were given the chance, it is a second chance.
If I were given a chance to do it all over again, yes, I would. No regrets in that at all.
Pero that's not the second chance we're talking about. You're never going to be able to redo everything. But a second chance.
What I mean is, I would give it a second chance
to try again.
Yeah, and I will not do that with any other person. That's what I'm saying.
Never say never.
No, I'm saying never. I will never do that with any other person.
Sana na-meet ko tong si Kuya, no?
Yeah, there's no way. This was years ago. Years and years ago. But I don't know. It felt like he set that standard for me to kind of, this is how people should treat you, or this is how it should be.
So I guess what you're bringing up, though, is that there are situations where you might just really want to give somebody a second chance, regardless of all the stuff we talked about kanina.
Yeah.
So yung mga 30 minutes natin pinag-uusapan na, hindi kailangan ganito, ay baka pag ganito hindi pwede. Minsan talaga, may mga exception to the rule na you just want to.
Like, but the thing is,
give them a second
you
chance.
wanted to give a second chance to somebody, but the somebody isn't there to give it to. How sad. Yeah. Story of my life.
How sad tapos tawa? May sayad talaga tayo. But I think, ay guys, kung gusto nyo marinig.
It's like, you know how I am. I like deep, meaningful conversations. We talk that way every single day. Or like, talking to somebody without saying anything. Literally. But it's like you just understand each other. That's how it should be. Or that's how we were.
Are you maybe romanticizing the memory?
No, because it happened.
No, I know, but like, maybe it's not as good as you remember it.
Oh, it was good.
Maybe you're remembering it, because we tend to, as human beings, I'm not saying you're doing this.
No, because, believe me, I know.
But you know
I know what I'm talking about too. I know exactly what I'm talking about, because it didn't feel the same afterwards. With someone else. It's not the same. We're so quiet now. My second chance. No more chance. One more chance.
Minsan talaga the heart knows what it wants.
But oh well. It is what it is. Not like I can just go back in time, right?
Wouldn't we want that? Wouldn't we all?
Or if you can just pick and choose, people in your life that would stay. You can, but...
Speaking of going back in time, let me ask you this. if you had the chance to go back in time and you had two options with si Kuya, you had two options. One, to go back in time to experience all of this again, but nothing changes. So the ending is still the same. The ending is we come back to this, where things ended. And
without me knowing anything.
Without you knowing anything. It's ambiguous. We don't know if you get a second chance or not. Or the other option is you get to go back and none of this would have happened. You get to go back. You
restart everything without him?
You get to go back to the time you met him, but you don't meet him. So this relationship doesn't happen.
I will choose the first one.
To relive everything again and to be here?
Yes.
Why?
Why not? I'd rather have that moment or moments with him, even if it was very, very short time, rather than not knowing him at all.
Why?
Because it just felt right.
But there wouldn't be pain.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. Pain is a state of mind.
Ay? Quotable quotes.
It's just pain. You can always move on.
It's one of those, it's better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all.
Why are we talking about me?
You brought it up.
I'm just saying, like, the second chance of this. Like, so we're talking about second chances, right? If I were to give someone a second chance, it would be him.
And I think in this situation, it's similar to what you were saying a while ago, where I think this is one of those situations where if the chance for a second chance does come up, I might have to swallow everything I said and just say, you actually have to go for it. Anong condition? The second chance came up.
I would go for it no matter what.
I think we should email that email again.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work na. I tried.
Hanap natin yan.
We even created an email together. That's how he found my existing email. Because I kept that email.
Anyway, second chance.
Second chance. Well, there goes my second chance. So yeah, that's the story of my life, guys. But it depends on your situation. You should assess your situation. If the person is worth giving the second chance, you don't just give it away. Unless you're ready for anything. Okay, if you feel like this person deserves a second chance, even if you risk yourself in getting hurt again, that's fine. Go for it.
I think. What I'm thinking. So I think.
You think or what you're thinking?
Ano ba? Ang haba na pala. What I think though, I just realized that when we say second chance, for the past 40 minutes, we've been talking about second chance in terms of giving the other person the chance to do something again. But I think when we talk about chances, you can also think of it in terms of gambling and risks, right? There's a chance to win, there's a chance to fail. And I'm realizing now, when you give somebody a second chance, you're not actually just giving somebody a second chance, you're putting yourself at risk again.
Exactly.
And I believe that's what you're trying to say, right? Of are they worth it? Because are they worth that risk again of putting yourself out there again for them to either make the same mistakes or do better or hurt you again? And this goes for everything, right? Even when you talk about employment, do you want to give, are you taking on that risk as the employer for this employee to mess up again and potentially lose you money. You know, in relationships, like with my friend who said she will not give me a second chance to drive us again anywhere because she was like, I will not risk being late because of you ever again. And it's understanding. Then I think the other thing too would be it's also understanding your worth. Nah, as much as it's about the other person, do they deserve a second chance? Are they somebody that's willing to change? Have they proven that they can change? Because for the past, 40, 50 minutes at this point, we've been talking about the other person. But right now, I think I'm realizing you also need to think about yourself. Nah, what is your worth, and is that something that you're willing to gamble with
when
again?
When you give a second chance.
Yes.
Yeah. It goes hand in hand.
Important talaga always ang self-awareness.
Yes. And a lot of people forget that. You should be very conscious about yourself. Self-love muna.
Totoo. Sabi nga ni Mama Ru. If you can't love
yourself,
how the hell are you gonna love somebody else?
Yeah.
Can I get an amen? Clearly we're Drag Race fans. But no, I think as we wrap this up, it's becoming more evident for me as we have all these different conversations. But episode 4 na. And I think as I think back to the first, 3 episodes we've been talking, first 3. For the 4th episode, something that keeps coming up for me is yung idea ng self-worth talaga and self-love. Not just self-love, but self-worth. Diba? Like when you understand boundaries, you can't understand boundaries without understanding your self-worth. Because you need to know where to draw them.
Exactly.
Based on what you're willing to hold on to or what you're willing to deal with. Even when we talk about something as simple as, music and what your music tastes are, it comes with self-awareness of like, I want this. I like this.
What do you really want?
Yeah, and then not letting other people dictate
influence
that.
you.
I mean, not letting other people shame you. Because I think, we get influenced,
yes.
I had no idea who some of the bands you listen to are.
Sleep Token!
But I let you influence me in terms of like, Joe, this is really great. Listen to this. Gang. So I'm like, I'll give it a chance. What's our episode 3? Friendship breakups. We talk about when do things end and how important are some people. And that still boils down to you being self-aware and understanding where you stand in those relationships, what kind of a person you are as a friend. And then, as we talk about second chances, it's coming back again of like, it's important to know that as much as it is important to talk about, does the other person deserve the second chance? The question should also involve you. Na, is it worth risking yourself for the second chance for that other person?
I agree.
Palitan na natin yung title ng podcast. Self-awareness.
No, it's still second chance.
Hindi yung title, yung podcast talaga.
Hindi na title the podcast. It's self-awareness, the podcast. No. But, well, there you go, guys. we hope it's clear to you when to give second chances to people or situation, even to yourself.
True, to yourself.
Always consider yourself first. Like, how will this make you feel? Or are you worth risking it all again? Or is it worth giving this person that second chance?
And then all of these things also apply pag ikaw yung nagkamali.
Also give yourself that second chance.
Pag nagkamali ka for other people.
Yeah.
The flip side of considering na, am I capable of change? Am I capable of apologizing and having remorse? And am I worth that other person risking themselves to give me a second chance?
Yeah.
How do I prove myself to them that I am worthy of being given a second chance also?
Oh, diba?
So, sana bigyan nyo rin kami ng second, third, fourth, fifth chance at pakinggan nyo ulit ang aming next episodes.
Yes. Thank you again, guys, for joining us today.
Yeah, and if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, or violent reactions, you can find us on Spotify, LinkedIn,
YouTube.
Wala pa Spotify, YouTube,
Instagram, and Facebook.
Yes. And their contact information are all there. And we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. If you have any other topics that you want us to discuss, feel free to reach out to us or make any comments.
Yes. And with that, again, this is Joe.
And Joe, title the podcast. Thanks for listening to us. Till next one. Thank you. Bye.